You're listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast. Smarter sales, stronger growth, simplified.
Hey there, welcome back to another episode of the Sales Chameleon Podcast where selling smarter starts. I'm your host, Heather Coggins, and today I'm going to be breaking down something that can really make or break a small business's ability to grow profitably. And no, I'm not just going to be talking about the fact that you need to have a killer product or that you need to be running paid ads, although those things do help. What I'm going to be talking about, though, is really acquiring customers at the lowest possible cost and doing it without sacrificing sales quality. Because here's the deal. Most small businesses, unfortunately, they waste a ton of time, a ton of money trying to get new customers in the door. And in doing so, they throw cash at ads, they chase the wrong leads, and they end up struggling to close deals efficiently. And when your customer acquisition cost or your CAC is too high as a business, your profits are going to shrink really fast. And so the problem with all of that, obviously you're losing profits, but the problem in more broader terms when we're looking at small businesses is really the fact that too many businesses focus on spending more instead of selling smarter. And so that's why today I'm going to be diving into what CAC is and why it's a critical business metric, how consultative and versatile selling directly lowers your CAC, and then I'm going to talk through some practical strategies that you can use right away to help you acquire customers more efficiently. So let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so what is customer acquisition cost or CAC and why does it matter? So when we break down what CAC is, it's the total cost of acquiring a new customer. And so that's going to include your marketing, your sales efforts, and any tools that you're going to use to close that deal. Now, if you're asking yourself, okay, why should I care? Isn't this all part of running a business? The answer is the importance of this is because when that CAC is too high, you're going to end up having to charge more for your products, make less, or both. And none of those are good options. And so while yes, those are part of running a business, I want to actually break it down a bit further and talk through a bit of a formula that makes understanding CAC really simplified. And then we'll talk through a little bit more of the importance behind that. So when we break it down a bit further into this simplified formula and we look at CAC, what that is it's really the total cost to get customers divided by the number of new customers that you get. So let's just say you spend $5,000 on marketing and your sales efforts, and out of that $5,000, you end up gaining 50 new customers. So if we divide the 5,000 on marketing divided by the 50 new customers, your customer acquisition cost is going to be $100 per customer. So this means you spent $100 to acquire each of those new customers. Now, ultimately, if it costs more to get a customer than what they're worth to your business, then you've got a problem. So if you're looking at that $100 and you're saying, wow, that's way too much based on the products that I'm selling, then you need to figure out a way to get that down. However, on the other end, if you're looking at that $100 and you're like, hey, that's actually a really good deal based on the products that I'm selling, then you may be on the right track. So ideally, your CAC should be much lower than how much a customer is spending with you. And so, as I mentioned, the goal is really to lower this number without losing quality leads. Now, here's where small businesses tend to go wrong with CAC. What they do is they end up, they start throwing money at ads instead of improving their sales approach. And then from that, they end up targeting the wrong audience, which ends up leading to wasted ad spend. And ultimately, they end up pushing instead of guiding because they're really trying to force that sale. And that ends up just killing conversion. And so the fix here is actually pretty simple. It's just to sell smarter, not harder. And that's where consultative and versatile selling comes in. And so the best way to help you lower CAC isn't just by spending less, it's by being able to convert more from the leads that you already have coming in the door. And so, if you want fewer wasted leads, that's where consultative selling is going to come in and help. And so instead of treating every prospect exactly the same, you're going to want to focus on, asking the right discovery questions to really understand their pain points. Once you understand their pain points, you then need to have that alignment and tie your product directly to their needs and their vision of value, and ultimately end up guiding them towards the right solution, not pushing them towards the solution. And when you do that, you help them realize the value on their own instead of forcing that sale. Now, switching gears just a little bit, if you're looking for higher close rates and you're looking for those close rates to be done faster, this is where versatility can help really blaze that trail. And the reason is because buyers want different things, right? We're all different. Some buyers want data, others need a story. Some buyers need time to really think through, all of the information before they make a decision, and others want to decide fast because they're focused on the end result. And so regardless of where they fall or how they prefer to communicate, if you're not able to identify that, adapt, and then modify your approach to them, you're really going to end up losing them as a customer. And so the truth of all of this is, when you're able to master that consultative and versatile selling, you really don't need to spend more to get more customers. You just need to focus on closing more of the right ones, which is going to reduce that CAC naturally. And so let's go ahead and kind of bring this together and talk through 4 key actionable ways that you can, really focus on to help bring down your acquisition cost. And the first is going to be really optimizing your messaging and your positioning. And so if your business is currently messaging something like this, hey, we have the best product on the market, then I would encourage you to rethink that approach, because you're not really sharing anything about what the product actually does for your target audience or how it's going to help or benefit them. So a better example of that messaging would look a bit more like, struggling with leaky pipes? Here's how we can help fix it. When you reposition it that way, that speaks more directly to your audience's pain points, and it really allows you to kind of tweak things so that you can test different messages to really see what's converting best. The second is going to be to really focus on the right leads first. Okay, not all leads are equal. Some people are just window shopping, and others are more serious. And so you need to make sure that you're asking the right open-ended questions up front to really properly qualify your leads and ensure that you're focusing on the right ones. And so with this, I recommend using lead qualification to really filter out those bad fit prospects before you spend time on them. And some of the ways that you can do that are thinking through and asking the following questions. Is this person that I'm going to be speaking with or that I'm speaking to, are they a decision maker? And if you don't know that, ask the questions from them to understand. Do they actually need your solution? And is it something that's within their budget at this time? Okay, so make sure you're thinking through, you're asking yourself those questions. And if you don't know the answer to those, that you're talking through and asking those with the person that you're speaking with to kind of qualify that lead. Thirdly, you want to focus on increasing referrals and organic growth. And so the cheapest way to get customers is through word of mouth and referrals. And so here, what you want to do is really encourage those satisfied customers to bring in others. So maybe you offer some sort of incentive for those customers who successfully refer business to you. You can get creative with it, but definitely want to encourage that referral business. Offer referral discounts or incentives like I mentioned, right? They have to make sense though. You shouldn't just start arbitrarily throwing out huge discounted prices just to get business in the door, because ultimately you're going to hurt your bottom line and potentially the way your customers and your prospects view your brand. So just be mindful when you do that. And then you're going to want to share testimonials and case studies to really build that credibility fast. So how you've successfully helped someone else in a similar situation. And then fourth is going to be to focus on improving your sales efficiency. So make sure that you're working to reduce the number of follow-ups that are needed to close a deal. Work on streamlining your sales process so that your prospects aren't stalling out. And then use automation wisely, okay? Keep the human touch, but use automation wisely. And this is important. It can be super frustrating as a customer or a prospect to get bogged down talking to a chatbot or some sort of AI robot. People thrive on human connection and interaction. So be sure that even if you are using automated processes to help, kind of help with your efficiencies, that you're still keeping that human touch alive within your business. And the bottom line with all of this is just really to remember that you don't need to spend more to win more business. You just need to sell smarter. And so as I start bringing this to a close, I want to go ahead and leave you with a few final key takeaways and an action item. And the first takeaway is going to be just remembering that lowering that CAC isn't just about spending less. It's really all about converting more efficiently. Consultative and versatile selling are going to help you close more of those right customers faster. And when you have those small shifts in messaging, those small shifts in your lead qualification and your sales efficiency, those are really going to make a huge impact. And so if this is something you're struggling with, what I want you to do as your action step is look at your last 5 lost deals and just ask yourself a few questions. Did I fully uncover their needs as a buyer? Did I adapt my communication to be able to match their decision style? And was I guiding them, or was I more so pushing them towards a decision? And then find one area to improve and start testing it out this week and see how that works out for you. That's going to do it for today's episode of the Sales Chameleon Podcast. As always, thanks for listening in. And remember, sales isn't just about bringing in more leads. It's about closing the right ones the right way at the lowest cost. So if this episode gave you an aha moment, please be sure to like it, give it 5 stars, share it with others who may be able to benefit. And as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you're never missing an episode. Until next time, keep selling smarter, stay versatile, and I will catch you on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Sales Chameleon Podcast.